As you can tell, it's really wet. What a birthday. What a birthday. A lot of travelers make this one mistake when they think about traveling to Africa. They think of it as a country instead of a continent. Now, Africa has 54 countries. They're all unique. They have different landscapes, people are different, the vibe is different. I've traveled to Africa a lot, and through my travels, I've had multiple experiences. I'm going to give you my top 5. Now, the last one is going to surprise you because it really doesn't deal with the people, the hotel, or the destination. This one really hits home with me. These weren't one trip, they were 5 different journeys planned separately over the years. Now that matters because the misconception I see most from clients is that Africa is a single destination you just check off. It's not. It's a continent you build a relationship over time. By the time this video ends, you'll know which country to start with and why. You don't realize how high you are until you look down and you're above the clouds.
Site and now one of the 7-1.
Now, Cape Town is probably people's first exposure to South Africa. You get a lot of direct flights right into Joburg or Cape Town in South Africa.
Leaving the airport, heading to Johannesburg.
But Cape Town is usually kind of a place that reminds you of Western culture. You'll see that type of city in the US and some parts of Western Europe. So a lot of people relate to that part of Africa. Now within Cape Town, Table Mountain is probably one of the first activities that a lot of people go to when they're in Cape Town.
So I'm on top of the world here, Table Mountain, South Africa, Cape Town.
Two properties that I do recommend when you're visiting Cape Town is One and Only and Mount Nelson. Now, One and Only is a chic, casual, contemporary style looking hotel. Very luxurious, has great views of Table Mountain, nice rooms. Now, when you think of Mount Nelson, that's a Belmont property, a very classic style of luxury hotel. It's best known because it's painted in pink. Beautiful setting, more of that classic feel to it. You're standing with one of the most iconic indigenous cultures on earth. They chant, they jump higher than you think is physically possible, and then they pull you in. I'm going to be honest with you. When the Masai tribe was jumping, they're just a beautiful type of people. They're warm, they bring you in, they really introduce you to the culture and bringing in the past and the future of that area. The thing that got me is I'm there for my birthday and I'm celebrating my birthday.
What a birthday.
Happy birthday, boy.
I'm telling you, what a birthday.
Happy birthday to the good brother.
Thank you, Dodger.
What a birthday,
What a birthday.
We did. And the last thing I want to do is tear Achilles or tear my ACL jumping. But, they were jumping high, and the only thing I was thinking is please do not tear anything, especially on this mature milestone birthday. But we had a great time during that period, and I just want to thank the Masai people for making me feel special along with my group. We stayed at the Lahi Tented Lodge in the Serengeti region. That's where we were based for both the Masai visit and the safari. And that leads me to this next one. The real name is Mosi Otunya.
So we're here at Mosi Otunya in Zimbabwe.
It translates to the smoke that thunders. Colonizers renamed it Victoria Falls. Whatever you call it, nothing prepares you for what the water does to you the first time you see it.
What are you doing? I know it's raining.
It's raining, it's a little wet, but hey.
Forward to work with you.
Hey.
Fantastic, look at that.
I stayed at the Mbano Manor Hotel on the Zimbabwe side. That's the side I recommend.
I'm in Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls at the Mbano Manor, and this place is amazing. I just can't wait to let you see it. Here we go. Got this spacious room. Oh, wow. Almost like a mini villa here. Got the sitting room area, TV, nice furnishings. You come over here, kind of a bar setting. You got your stocked refrigerator, just a nice setting. Then you come in here, look at your bathtub. Dual sinks, look at the furnishings, walk-in closet. Of course, I always say, you gotta have a robe with the, got the robe there. A little, if you want to deal with some yoga, you got the yoga mats, safe. They gave me some flip-flops so I can go by the pool. Nice big shower. Got the mosquito net if you need it. And it always comes with the nice signature from the team.
The views from the Zimbabwe were just beautiful. The falls fill your entire frame. Now, there are two major experiences well, it's multiple experiences in Zimbabwe, but the two around Victoria Falls is either Devil's Pool, where you see people kind of laying next to the cliff, the waterfall, and acting like they will fall off or something. And the next one is something I did. I took a helicopter ride over Moisuotunya, and it was quite interesting. Now, this was my first helicopter ride, and just imagine you're going over one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's beautiful, you're seeing all these sights, but you know that somebody may have not met the weight requirements, and that helicopter is moving a little shaky, but I think I had, let's say, a scarier experience than Devil's Pool. But it's just me, it's just me. But the great thing is the views were amazing, and just to see that waterfall and see something, the 7 wonders of the world, it's just beautiful, and I'm glad I got a chance to see it with my own 2 eyes. Look to your left. Someone told me before I went to the Serengeti that every other safari is just a Disney theme park by comparison. I thought they were exaggerating at first until I saw it for myself. Now, I told you about how the Serengeti is the real thing. Everything else is kind of almost like a watered down drug when it comes to safaris. Our guide was driving us and just stopped the Jeep and just told us to look to our left. And I didn't know what he was talking about. And when I looked there and I looked closely, I saw a lion staring at us through the bush. I mean, this thing was just quiet.
The truck in front of us looking this way, there's a line behind them.
And I was always wondering, how can they just, sneak up on these animals like that? And, because they're an apex predator. And I could see why. I mean, if I was just walking around there, there's no doubt I would have been that lion's meal. But they're so stealth, they're so quiet. You really need to know what you're doing if you're going to walk through the Serengeti. So that's why I really give it to those guides. They know exactly what they're doing. Later that day, we watched a lioness set up a hunt, slow, patient, choosing her zebra, whatever one she wanted. We didn't stay for the kill, but you can feel the setup happening. Now, later on in the safari, this was crazy. So these Jeeps, they all have a natural kind of convertible hatch on the top. And we were looking and we saw this lioness just walking through our caravan of Jeep. And what caught my eye was, I think it stared at me and my friend Scott face to face. Like, it pretty much said, you don't want these problems. And we said, okay. We closed that hatch down and we slowly watched the lioness do her thing from afar.
She is in hunting mode. Get real close up there on top.
Word to the wise, hey, it is what it is. Lioness, you have this. We're just only visitors here. So my top experience wasn't even a resort. Showtime Travel, we teamed up with Art Cares and African Roots Travel to donate computer equipment to a school, I think it was called the Anthems MA Basic School in Cape Coast, Africa. It was a beautiful sight, a great ceremony. What I did like about this is we surprised the kids by already buying the equipment well in advance and was set up in the room. It really helped me to to understand and give these kids a chance, because there is a digital divide. They're very resourceful, but the donations and gifts, not only from my clients at Showtime Travel, but just, in general, have helped these children really grow and be resourceful. They're using these computers, especially with the advance in AI, to really grow. So you've seen all these experiences in Africa. So what I want to do is tell you one thing if you're starting to plan a trip to Africa. Number one, pick one country. Now you have, of course, 54 to choose from, but I'm gonna give you some ones to start off with. Number one, I would say South Africa, Cape Town. You have multiple things to do in South Africa. Not only you have the wineries, you have the coastline, you also have the safaris there, Kruger National Park, and some other ones. So it's close to Western culture, and that's usually why it's usually people's first African trip. Number two, I would say Tanzania. Now that's Eastern Africa. Now Tanzania has a lot of things to do. You have the Serengeti. If you're adventurous, you can climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Also, they have the white sand beaches of Zanzibar.
We have the Rock Restaurant in Zanzibar. As you can tell, some of those, the water's not here right now. So low current, ready to take it all in.
So you get all of this in one country. Next, Ghana, for the culture, the ancestors, especially for people from the Black culture in the US. A lot of our culture comes from West Africa. So you get a lot of history in there, and they have a vibrant nightlife.
On the behalf of Showtime Travel owner here, we want to thank you all for this presentation. Thank you all for the love that you provided us. Thank you all for the prayers. It means so much to us as we move forward and go back home and tell all our friends and family who could not make it here to Africa right now, but they're dreaming to come back. So we want to thank you for this ceremony and thank you for the time spent. It really means a lot to us, and I know on behalf of me and everybody else, it's going to be a memorable, life-changing experience.
Last one, I would say if you don't want to fly far, Morocco. Morocco has the quickest flight from the eastern coast of the US. We just landed in Morocco in Casablanca Airport. We're going to start our vacation. So Morocco, not only do you have the history with the Medinas and souks, but you have the cuisine. So you're talking about the tangines and their mint teas, and you're dealing with a variety of different experiences in the Sahara Desert. Yeah. Oh. So those are my picks for people who want to just start off, but there are a variety of different picks out there that you can choose from. This is just something that I think you can start off with. But the main thing is start off with one country. This is not Europe where you're going to catch a train to different types of countries out there. You can't mix Ghana and South Africa in one trip. No. So just pick one country and go with it. Now, let me be honest. Two things about Africa that I really want you to know about. Africa may not be for everyone, especially if you want predictability. And this is especially for the safari folks. There's no set contract with the animals that if you're going to go out on a safari that you're going to see the big five there. So you have to be patient. It's not a schedule. Everything is not predictable that way. Also, number two, especially coming from the Western culture, I come from the US, a lot about Africa has been thought of as poverty, and that's not the case. If you know, some of the top richest people are in Nigeria. But that doesn't mean that you don't have poverty. It was a funny fact. I had a family member who was wondering, why are you going to Africa? And I showed him a picture of Dar es Salaam downtown. He thought it was in the US. That just shows you it is a lot of different beautiful places in Africa that we get the wrong misconception here in the US. And they're growing, and the infrastructure is growing as well. So yes, are you going to get some poverty in some places? Yes, that's the same in the US, that's the same in Europe and other different places. But Africa is growing in popularity, and you really want to take advantage of it now. So when it comes to the flights to Africa, you're going to have, just like I said, I would say the quickest flight is flying either to Marrakesh or Casablanca from the eastern part of the US. We just landed in Morocco in Casablanca Airport. We're going to start our vacation. You can get a quick flight there, I would say probably 6-7 hours. Now, if you're going to South Africa, that's where you're going to get a longer flight. You're talking about 15+ hours. And if you're going to the eastern part of Africa, it's probably going to be even more. But when I told you when you go on vacation, really just work with one country, it's only one exception there. And that is when I say you go to South Africa. So when you go to South Africa, you can do everything in South Africa. But while you're there, I would tell you go to Zimbabwe, because when I was there, I did Joburg, I did Cape Town, and then I went to Zimbabwe to Victoria Falls, which is a short, probably hour, 2-hour flight from Joburg. So you can visit multiple countries when you go to South Africa. And you can also visit some of the islands like the Seychelles as well. So a quick plane ride from South Africa. That is probably one of my things. Also, some people kind of put Kenya and Tanzania together as well with one trip. So those are some things that you could look at for the future when you're planning that vacation. But whatever you do, when you work with us, we'll help you design that right vacation that fits your need. Remember, you're visiting the continent of Africa, which has multiple countries. What I want you to understand is picking the right type of country is all about the emotions and experiences you want to feel. So we'll work together on that. As you know, I'm the owner of Showtime Travel, and what we do is we design luxury vacations for busy professionals, so all they have to do is show up and enjoy.
On the behalf of Showtime Travel, owner here, I want to thank you all, and also having my clients here. We want to thank you all for this presentation. Thank you all for the love that you provided us. Thank you all for the prayers. It means so much to us as we move forward and go back home and tell all our friends and family who could not make it here to Africa right now, but they're dreaming to come back. So we want to thank you for this ceremony and thank you for the time spent. It really means a lot to us, and I know on behalf of me and everybody else, it's going to be a memorable, life-changing experience. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for thanking us.
If you want to learn more about Africa, just visit our website at showtimetravel.com and click on that contact us or book us link, and then we'll work together and design the right trip for you. I think a variety of different vacations are out there for you, so you can really take advantage of the countries that best fit the goals you're looking for your vacation. Remember to contact us because you deserve a luxury vacation. Have a good one.